What is up, gang? It's me, Zez. And I see that many of you wonder how they can get an easier experience in Swarm, and I believe that it can be a bit overwhelming at times. So I decided to try and help you as much as Obi-Wan helped Anakin. Just please, don't turn Dark Force mode on me, okay? You just need to follow these 7 tips that I'm about to show you, and in no time, you too will start getting the results you want. Stick to the end of this video for the last tip, which is the most important, and I promise you that your gaming experience in Swarm will get a lot better. Let's begin, and for tip number 1, learn how the game works. In Swarm, the movement control is different from League of Legends. Here, you use WASD to move, and you can use your 2 skills with E and R. You can also aim with your mouse or change to automatic aim with C. There's also 3 different difficulties: Story Mode, Hard, and Extreme. You can play it solo or in a party up to 4 players. Depending on the difficulty, enemy status will change. You always begin the game in Story Mode and need to beat all 4 maps before advancing into the next difficulty. You also gain access to matchmaking after beating Swarm in Story Mode. Tip number 2. Have an idea of what type of build you want to create before starting a game. I see a lot of people just starting a game without thinking beforehand of what type of build they want to do, and that translates into a poor performance. Look for a type of build that fits your character and your playstyle. For example, if you pick Jinx, you should know that her weapon evolves with ability haste. So, you should look for an item that fits Jinx well and also evolves with ability haste, like Owl Blaster. That will facilitate your build, especially in the beginning when you have limited passive slots. And talking about passive slots, that brings us to tip number 3. You need to complete objectives to get more content. At the beginning, you won't have every passive, item, character, or augment. There's objectives that you need to complete to get that extra stuff. Want to have more passive slots? You will need to draft 3 different passives in one game in Story Mode difficulty. Want to get a passive or a weapon? Survive a certain amount of minutes to get those. I suggest you go into the Objectives tab, and depending on which difficulty you are playing, check what you need to do to get what you want. You can also spend your gold to buy upgrades for your passives in the Upgrades menu. Heading to tip number 4. Focus on choosing the items you want and the passives you need to evolve them. Using Jinx as an example again, you need to have ability haste to evolve her weapon. After getting the passive you need, focus on leveling up the weapon before evolving the passive. You only need to have the passive at level 1 to evolve a weapon, so get your weapons to level 5 as quick as possible before leveling up your passives. There will be times when the choices that appear won't be ideal, so you must think ahead. There is nothing that will go with the weapons or passives you have at the moment, but you still have slots left, so maybe you can pick a weapon or a passive that you believe will be a good addition to your kit and hope that the corresponding weapon or passive appears. As a last resort, you can keep evolving the passives you already have in an effort not to pick something that will make you have non-evolved weapons at the end. Tip number 5. And this is a pretty important one since it's a common mistake that I see a lot of players do. Don't pick up a card right after they drop. You can only evolve your items using cards, and the common mistake that I see a lot of players do is to pick up a card right after they drop. You can only get cards from defeating elite monsters, mini-bosses, or for completing a Bel'Veth trial. So automatically, that makes cards a limited resource. If you start picking them up right after they drop, you will have less resources to evolve your weapons. So, get a passive you need, get the weapon to level 5, and then pick up a card and evolve it. Repeat that till you upgraded all the weapons you can, and then you can start picking up all the cards you want. If you get the full build, when you pick up a card, there will be 2 options. Healing for 25% of your max health, or gain 25 gold. Tip number 6. Know when to do Yuumi Quest or a Bel'Veth trial. There are 2 features that can help you a lot if you know when to do them: Yuumi Quests and Bel'Veth trials. You can unlock Yuumi quests after defeating 15,000 enemies in story mode, and upon completion, you can choose one of 3 augments that can help you. There's a first indicator when a Yuumi quest is about to spawn, and the second one when it spawns, so I suggest you move into the area where it will spawn before the second indicator occurs. Try to clear the area of enemies before beginning the quest, since it can make it a bit harder if you don't do so. On the other hand, you can unlock Bel'Veth trials after surviving 5 minutes in any map in hard difficulty. There's only one indicator when a Bel'Veth trial spawns, and it will stay there till you start it. These are harder than Yuumi quests, so I suggest that you do them only when there's no elite monsters or mini-bosses at the time. Upon completion, you will get a card and a ton of experience and gold, so they are extremely important to do. And finally, the last tip and the most important one, the one I've been saving up for last. Don't forget to have fun. These tips will help you advance in your journey, it's true, but they mean nothing if you don't have fun while doing so. Be it solo, with a friend, or even a full group. Try different things, different builds, be crazy sometimes, or play it safe. You are the player, and at the end of the day, you make the rules of your own game. Thank you for watching, and if you think these tips will help you in any way, please drop a like and subscribe, since it helps this dad a lot. See you on the next video. Ciao!